Hello, Africa. Habari Tanzania. My name is Mr. Black from the BSL Investment Company Limited. As we always meet on our session called The Deep Talk, and here today I'm going to take you a little bit on our session known as Personal Uniqueness. And sometimes I may call it added values to a person. I may ask you a question. How unique are you? How do we distinguish yourself with other people? And here today I'm going to talk to you on the things that are supposed to have. As a human being, as a person who is supposed to be very unique, must have the following merits. So stay with me from the beginning till the end. Some of the tips that are supposed to be owned by a person who is unique. And being unique with others from the others, you must have the following things, the following traits, the following features, the following characteristics. My dear friends, get ready with this one. The first one is all about skills and talent. Being a person, you need to have skills, you need to have talent. And talent always focuses on leadership, creativity. Skills sometimes may be there in what we call problem solving. How are you well skilled in problem solving? How are you well skilled in leadership, in creativity? Doing things in a creative way, doing things in a good way as a leader makes you higher and takes you in a different way from the others. So I preach and beg from you today that if you need to be unique, if you need to be a person who's distinguished the characters, you need to own the skills and talents that could take you in different forms from the others. You need not to be a common person. You need to be a person who is a high quality. The second trait that you must own as the person who is very unique, a person who's added value, you need to have personality traits. Have you ever heard about personality traits? It may be yes or not, but just for today, I'd like to tell you that when you have your own personality traits like being honest, also trustworthy, whatever that will be given a certain activity, given a certain project, how honest on that? How are you trustworthy on doing those things? People want to see your honesty. People want to see how humble are you. People want to see you're trustworthy in whatever that you're doing. And sometimes how hardworking are you? In a personal personality or in your personality traits, we want to see your hardworking tactics. If you are working hard, if you're planning your things well, you're doing your things smartly, then you call it that person is very unique. And sometimes here, how are you friendly? Some people, are very harsh. But being a person with uniqueness, you need to be very friendly with the people. How do you support others? How do you engage yourself with others? And sometimes here, how are you calming down some pressure things? It may happen in a certain activity, certain event that may take you into aggressive ways. How are you calming down the state? How are you down with the situation? You need to be calm at every step of any pressure. We need to see your pleasure. We need to see your comfortability. We need to see the way you react, the way you do your own decisions that makes your personal traits in a great way. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like also to remind you a little bit about in personality traits, we need to see you with a positive attitude. Your positive attitudes makes you a better person. Being with positive attitudes may take you into right decision making, into integration, and also it may take you into right gathering and whatever we share different ideas. Being positive may take you in a first development and a personal improvement of own decisions. So I would like to remind you that you need to have positive attitude. By this beautiful moment, I would like to take you to a third character or to a third feature that you need to have as a unique person. Just to remind you that you need to have your own values and principles. Own values and principles. Being a person with a uniqueness, you need and you have to own your personal values and principles. You should never go like a layman. Being a person with personality, with a uniqueness, with the added values, we need to see your principles. A good principled man, a good principled woman must have some traits that distinguish you from the others. Like here, how are you integrating? Your integrity, your levels of integrity, but also the way you respect others, the way you respect yourself, the way you wear, the way you act, is the way you do, the way you live, the way you integrate with other people's, the way you present things, that is your own values and principles. How do you isolate yourself with the other poor things, with the other poor behaviors, with the other bad things that takes you different from others? And here, how are you responsible? How are you responsible by your duties and responsibilities? How are you acting? How are you working with them? And team working plus a discipline that makes you unique from the others. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, get to this point. Here I may speak about experience. Being a unique person, you need to have your own experience. Grow, enrich yourself is a lot of experience. In whatever that you'll be doing in your own life, we need to see you with a great experience. Being unique, we want to see your high level of ability on doing things. Here, how have you ever volunteered to a community? How do you do community involvement? I may sometimes speak about school and club positions. Which positions have you ever had? Which position have you ever held? Which position have you ever real work on it? Here we may trace back your history in sometimes engagement things, maybe in political issues, in leadership issues, any kind of position that you ever worked for the community, any position that you ever owned and you ever worked it for the community that's around you. So being a person with a unique traits, with the added values, needs to have ability on volunteering, social involvement, community involvement, but also team working together with what we call challenge and how to overcome those challenges. For the last, just for today, I would like to mention the 50 added value to a unique person. As a unique person, you really need to have what we call motivations and passion. Motivation and passion. How are you motivating others? What is your passion? Many people do fail to reach their goals because they do lack what we call passion. But passion gives us the great things, and your waitings, your tolerance and waiting will take you higher. And sometimes you may face some difficulties. I would like to remind you about a slogan ever said by a certain philosopher. Any physical calamity has a divine purpose. Any physical calamity has a divine purpose. You as a person, you may face a different challenge. You may face many problems, but you need to calm down. How are you solving those things? By your passion, by your tolerance, will take you to the perfect and the right way. In whatever that happens under the sun, in whatever that happens in this world, there is a divine purpose within. You need to stay humble, as we really need to see you in a great way. So being as a unique person, first of all, you need to have a passion to things that happens, tolerance to things that happen. And again, you need to have motivation. Motivation in what? Here, I may speak about passion for learning. You need to learn different things. You need to add knowledge. You need to have things that are great into your life. You need to have things that shape your ways. You need to have things that takes you to a different way, that the person, when he looks to you, feels like, yes, I've seen somebody who is a very great person in this world. Here again, I may speak about the commitment to the goals. How are you committed to your goals? As you know, goals are always smart. How are you specific? Is it measurable on what you're doing? Is it attainable on what you're planning? Is it realistic on what you're going to do? Has it got what we call time bound? In whatever that you're doing, you need to be smart. And again, you must have desire to help others. In our community, we do live and we need to help each other. So you need to have ability to help others. They're the things. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I may have a lot of things to speak to you right over now, but just for today, I would like to remind you that in things that makes you unique, Remember about motivation and passion. Just remember about experience. Never forget about values and principles. And after values and principle, we need to see your personal traits, and we need to have skills and talents. If you take all these five areas, it will make you unique. You will be a person with the added values. And I've no more to say over this time. Just say goodbye, enjoy the moment, enjoy the lessons. Just visit our YouTube channel, Black School TV. Visit my Instagram, BSL Schools. Ciao.